Hello everyone, welcome to this first episode of Python for Absolute Beginners. In this episode, we are going to learn the basic syntax of Python and hopefully write our own program. For this particular episode, I will also be using Jupyter Notebooks to write the code. You can find a complete guide on how to install Jupyter Notebooks in the description box. So let's dive right in. First, let us learn how to write comments. In order to write a comment, we have to use the hash signal or the pound signal. The pound signal is important because it declares a comment and it can be used to temporarily exclude a block of code. As you can see, if I remove the hash comment and try to run the code, you receive a syntax error. So if you want to write something that you do not want to be included in the code, you include a hash signal before it, then you can try and run the code. You should be able to run the program. So let us run our first program, and the first thing we're going to learn about is a function called print. As you can see, it is in small capital P, and the print function is important because it allows us to display information and give us an output for the code that we want us to write. And in this case, we want to print hello world, which is usually the first program that people learn when you're getting introduced to programming. So when you write hello world, see, you have to put them into quotation brackets. And in order to run the code, we have to press Control Enter. So once we do that, you can see there's an output written hello world. I also added something else, print CodeCrazeKE, comma, subscribe, then close the bracket. So what we're doing, that is a string. A string is a data type in Python, and we shall go through this. We shall encounter this as we go further and further. So strings are declared by quotation marks. It can be either one quotation mark or the double quotation marks. The second function that we're going to learn about is the input function, which is declared by writing input then brackets. And when I do that, you can see it gives us a box where you can type in something and type in input. And when we do that and press enter, we can see that that is now printed out. That is the input function. It is used to take user input from the user. Sorry about that. This is take user input from the user. So when we proceed with that, and we can add input and then add the quotation marks to declare a string and enter your first name. So when we run the code input enter your first name, you can see now when the box that requests for input from the user comes in, it has the words written enter your first name. It is just good for now, usability, or rather prompting the user what exactly they should do. So let's try and write a line of code here. Enter your first name, then enter your second name. These are the kind of prompts that you may probably find when you're trying to log in to maybe Facebook or Instagram. So in this case, you can try enter your first name John, enter your second name Wepukulu, and when you run, you can see that is what it displays. This is just a simple program at the moment that only requests the user for the first name and the second name, then displays the first name and the second name. So once we have familiarized ourselves with the two concepts of input and print, we can now move forward to variables. And think of a variable as a store of value. Think about it, maybe if you have two drawers, and the first drawer contains socks, and the second drawer contains cables. So you can, in Python, you can have that denoted as drawer 1 is equal to socks. Remember, because this word socks is a string and Python does not know what socks is, you have to put it in the quotation marks. And then drawer 2 contains cables. So when I run the command print drawer 1, it will display the word socks. And then if I run the command print drawer 2, it will display cables. So what this is doing, because now we are not putting the drawer 1 and drawer 2 in quotation marks, because we have already defined them earlier in the line of code. As you can see, now the computer knows that drawer 1 contains socks and drawer 2 contains cables. So now we can now enhance our program by incorporating something called concatenation of strings, which is basically the joining together of two strings using the plus sign and joining together the two variables, which is the first name and the second name. And when we run that, you can see it is not clear. So now we pass in an empty space so that when the name Chrysanthus Puhulu is displayed, we can see a space. So to do that, we just pass an empty string, and then you also remember to add the plus sign. Once the plus sign is added, you can run the program, and as you can see, the display is now clearer and understandable. So using the knowledge we have acquired, we can now create a more sophisticated program. We assign the variable first name and second name to an input, which is enter your first name and second name, then have the command print hi plus first name plus a space plus second name plus please subscribe to CodeCrazeKE. Then we can do something further with it. We can even ask the user for location, which we assign it to an input, enter location, and then maybe have the program print you live in, and then whatever the location the user had as an input. So we'll do that. You live in, then use the concatenating sign, then location. So we can try to run our program. Let's have the first name. There we go. The second name. Then see now it requests for the location, so we can have the location, let's say Bungoma. So it says you live in Bungoma. So you can try this program and edit it however you want. You can use age as a variable. You can also use school as a variable. You can use many other things. So you try it out, then you can share it in the comments.